This is the DiPietro, Canty, and Rothenberg podcast.
I'm a big star, you know.
Listen live weekday mornings from 5 to 8 a.m. on 98.7 ESPN in New York, the ESPN app, the TuneIn app, or on your smart speaker.
Hey, Alexa, play ESPN New York 98.7.
Hey, good the Friday morning. It is DCR with you on 98.7 ESPN. I thought I'd come in low energy to match what Rick gave us yesterday, but I decided, I'm not going to do that. I'm going to come in with high energy. There's a lot going on. Hopefully, we'll have the second half of baseball starting tonight. I don't know if the Yankees and Red Sox will be part of that. We are 8 weeks or less away from the start of the NFL season. There's a lot to do. We got golf is just rolling along with the Open Championship. We got leaderboard updates to get into. But on this Friday, we turn and we say good morning. We check the energy level of one, Richard DiPietro. Good morning, Rick.
Good morning, David. It's Friday. Got golf on.
Yep.
Oh, what could be better than this?
This is great.
I mean, I could do without the COVID running rampant right now. Hopefully that All-Star game doesn't turn out to be a super spreader. But, I mean, the Yankees have already dealt with this, haven't they? I mean, are you surprised?
Yes, actually. And well, before we get into it, let's say good morning to Christopher. Good morning, Chris. How you doing?
I'm doing well, Dave. I like the fact that you start the show with trolling one Rick DiPietro. It's almost as good as Bryson DeChambeau trolling Cobra, his sponsor, during the Open. Like that's unprecedented. I can't believe a player came out and criticized the equipment and his sponsor for having a terrible round. That's unbelievable.
Not a smart move because he's not easy to work with. I'm going to get my mouth shut. More me, less the equipment.
Well, he doesn't care, though. Obviously, he doesn't care who he annoys or what player he annoys or what company he annoys, and that's just kind of his way, right?
Yeah, but I mean, I would imagine that at some point, like, you need to maybe take a look in the mirror and realize, like, maybe it's me. Maybe I'm the one that's the problem.
The people that need to look in the mirror and realize maybe it's me are typically the last ones to do so.
Fair point.
You know?
You're right.
Point, Rothenberg.
Listen, I'm not saying you're wrong, but I mean, as far as what this guy's trying to do with his driver, the speed and everything else, I mean, from the people I've heard from, he's not the easiest to work with.
Well,
Cobra bends over backwards
right?
for him. Yeah, and they bend over backwards for him trying to figure it out. So
I think it's pretty obvious. We have open updates all morning long, but we start obviously with the story in really all of sports, and that's the Yankees and the Red Sox. And I knew it yesterday. The second I think the first domino to fall was they canceled batting practice. And I was like, uh-oh. And then a couple hours later, game is canceled. We don't know what that's going to mean for the weekend. The latest that I've seen now is 6 Yankees have tested positive for COVID. And you said, not surprising. I don't know. Maybe I'm naive, Rick. I thought we were done, to be honest with you, with the postponement and canceling of sporting events. But I guess I was naive, and we're certainly not there.
Well, no, we're not there. And this is something that the Yankees have already dealt with the coaching staff, all fully vaccinated. Gleyber Torres, who had COVID, got fully vaccinated and then got COVID again. I mean, this is something that we're still dealing with. It may be, listen, a part of me, I guess, agrees with you as far as, the postponements and cancellations, cancellations of games. I figured we may be past that. But even USA Basketball, I mean, Bradley Beal can't play in the Olympics now because of COVID. I mean, we had Emmanuel Quickly got put on the safety COVID protocol list. I mean, so it's still, even if you're fully vaccinated, it is still a risk right now. And
this
the
is
Red
one
Sox
of those.
are worried about it.
Yeah.
Because their guys the All-Star game.
Of course.
Yeah, I feel like this is a little bit of a wake-up call, right? I mean, in terms of overall awareness on where we're at and fighting the pandemic, a lot of people think that we're past it, and we're not quite there yet. And I think sports serves as that thing that can be a barometer in terms of letting everybody else know, the state of affairs as it comes to the fight with COVID. But, I'm a little bit surprised, like Dave was, that we're at the point where they're willing to postpone games again because of the virus. Like, I just didn't anticipate coming out of the All-Star break that we would have another shutdown from the Yankees because of positive tests. Like, I thought what happened back in May would be the end of it, but you're hearing now that Loaizaga had it down in Houston during the Astros series, and that's why he didn't pitch at the end of it, and that trickled down to other players. And now you're talking about 6 guys that won't be available for the team in the short term. and all the implications that go along with that. Like, not only are you going to be potentially missing those players, but I mean, if things get started back up and you're going to have to, rely on other guys, where does that put Brian Cashman in terms of trying to gauge where this team is at before the trade deadline? Like, all of those are legitimate concerns. So I mean, this is a tough spot for the Yankees to be in.
And you mentioned the six guys, so it's Judge. I mean, this is not the back six of your lineup.
Your best player.
This is not Tyler Wade and Clint Frazier, and I mean it's Judge. It's your starting right fielder. It's Urshela, your starting third baseman. Higashioka, Loaizaga, who may be your best reliever right now. Cortez, who might be your second best starter right now, and Wandy Peralta. So that's what we know now. Buster Olney was on the K show yesterday, and he kind of explains how this entire COVID situation has played out for the Yankees.
We were down, there were reporters down on the fields about, an hour ago, and we were getting ready for a Zoom call with Aaron Boone for ESPN, and then we were told that was canceled. There were Yankee players, a scattering of them, out on the field working out, just informally, including Luis Severino, other guys just playing catch, that sort of thing. And then Jason Zillow, who's the head of media relations for the Yankees, came over, told the reporters that, hey, clear the fields while the Yankees are going through this. And then a little while later, we heard that, the game had been postponed. And there is apparently more testing that has to happen tomorrow. I have not been told for sure what's going to happen with tomorrow's game. If you guys remember, we were supposed to do the first game of the season, Mets and Nationals in Washington. And not only was that first game postponed, but the next day, that second game was postponed as well.
So I don't know if they're going to play it all this weekend. Here's Buster on SportsCenter asked that very question. Will this series start up, I guess, this weekend? Will they be able to play it all?
It's unclear at this point because the Yankees have 3 confirmed positive tests, but they also have 3 pending tests on other players. They're not going to get those results back until Friday. And at that point, a decision will be made by the commissioner whether or not to move forward with Friday's game, whether to move forward with Saturday's game. The two teams just basically need more information.
So this is bad for the Yankees for a number of reasons. First of all, you need to play these games. Second of all, you'd think you'd need to have your best players, Chris. But on top of that, you mentioned in our pre-show meeting, we're 2 weeks from tomorrow from the trade deadline. The Yankees need to have answers of whether they're going to be able to compete for a spot in the postseason or not. This just lessens the amount of time you're going to have to gain that knowledge of, are we going to be all in to try to get to the playoffs, or are we going to maybe sell some of this team right now?
Oh, yeah, no question about it, Dave. This adds to the degree of difficulty to Brian Cashman's job in terms of trying to evaluate exactly where this team is at and how much of a commitment ownership is going to make in terms of continuing to invest to see if this team is capable of making a playoff push. But I would say this, and I know Rick has brought this up the last couple of months as we've discussed the Yankees. Like, they've got so much invested in this team and in this season already. I feel like this pushes the Yankees more toward trying to go out and make a move or several moves at the trade deadline, because you're talking about having one of the highest payrolls in baseball. You're talking about the investments that they've made, the moves that they've made in order to structure this team accordingly. It's like at this point, you have to try to continue to support the guys that are in that clubhouse. And I know it makes it harder with some of the guys that you're going to be missing here in the short term, but I still feel like regardless of what happens now, like the Yankees have to make a move and have to try to supplement this roster because they've already got so much invested in this season.
I said this before to you guys, though. When you look at what the Yankees are facing here out of the gate, I don't know if they could afford to wait. Like, I have a hard time believing that the Yankees will sell. I mean, they could get rid of a couple pieces. I don't know how much they have to sell, period.
Right,
but
that's the point also. What do they even have to sell?
Well, yeah, but I mean, can you imagine, like, Yankee Stadium? Like, we're going to sell off, like, we'll trade Aaron Judge before the deadline.
Ooh.
We've given up. That's not what you want. That's not what the Yankees are going to do. Just have their fan base quit in the season. Like, they'll try to make moves. I don't know if they can afford, especially now, to not make a move or moves. Like, if they, pick up the phone and try to get Joey Gallo. You're going to have to push Stanton now. I mean, Stanton's going to have to play the outfield.
Yeah. You
can't afford to wait.
Yeah.
You can't. Like, he's going to have to find a way. Because we're at a point, like, listen, and I get it. Like, when you're vaccinated and everything else, a lot of the time, I mean, you guys don't even get symptoms, but because they're getting tested every day, they find out that they're COVID positive. And we're not at a point now where, we can we can risk just playing through it. Because you can't have it, ravage through a team. Even if guys don't have symptoms, this isn't like, Chris, how many times during your career have you had, a flu bug or something that you battled through and coach is like, okay, I'll give you an IV and you'll go out there and play. We're not there right now with COVID. And, I can imagine when these guys are fully vaccinated, a lot of them are fully vaccinated. Obviously, some aren't. But, not wearing masks and everything else, it's probably, you're not taking the same kind of precautions that you would have, last season.
Let me get this right. The Yankees are at that point, that 85% threshold that Major League Baseball has, right, where they could have the relaxed protocols around the clubhouse.
That is my understanding, yes.
Yeah, so, this is it's one of those things, man. They're going to have to take a long, hard look at everything that they're doing in order to keep everyone safe because clearly, it's not as effective as what the other clubs around Major League Baseball are doing. There's an issue, and they've got to figure out how to get that fixed. But this comes at the most inopportune time just because of how important this stretch is for the Yankees. The next 2 weeks is ultimately going to determine where this team ends up, whether we're going to be a postseason team, whether we're going to have a real chance at competing for a division, whether we're going to have a chance to snag one of those wild cards like that. That's all pretty much going to shake out in the next 2 to 3 weeks based on the schedule.
See, I don't know if – I'll disagree with you a little bit. I think as far as the division is concerned, you'll probably have an answer with the division. But I think,
you're not winning this division.
Well, no. Listen, if you go 6-2 against the Red Sox, it doesn't feel like you can now. Not having Judge and Urshela, and you went through the list of names. Loaizaga one of your best relievers. Cortez has been awesome. Higashioka catching Garrett Cole. But if they go 6-2 against the Red Sox, you're right there. My point is, though, if you go 4-4. And you're still, 8 games back of the Red Sox, you don't feel great about the division. You're probably not going to win the division. Mm-hmm. But I don't think that would take away from your chances to win
a wild card spot.
Yeah. Unless the wheels completely fall off, I have a hard time believing that the Yankees are going to wave the white flag.
Which and I think they need to losing 6 of 8 to Boston. Although at this point, playing 6 of 8 against Boston, playing 8 games in the next 11 days feels unlikely, doesn't it? And now, and we talk about this all the time, I know, Rick, there's a big thing you discuss, and that is your pitching and taxing it. If they don't play this weekend series, 4 games, A, when are they going to play it? B, what is that going to do to your pitching staff down the road? Having to make up 4 games in the final 2+ months?
Oh, you have 2 7-inning doubleheaders.
2 7-inning doubleheaders on days you're not supposed to have games.
Well, you could also look at the positive of that, too, is that you push this series down the road a little bit. Maybe you get Severino back. Maybe Chapman's figured it out. Here's the other thing, though, too. Going into the series, you won 2 or 3 against Seattle. You should have swept the Astros. But there are still some problems going on with this Yankees team that you didn't feel great going into the series. Like, we're up 2-1 in the 9th. Who's closing? Can we use Chapman?
Great question.
You know what I mean? So, you never want something like this to happen. And I get exactly what you're saying. But, the Yankees are still dealing with some things that, maybe – they start to figure out here in the second half.
They have to have any chance of getting into the postseason. And right now you say 2-1 in the 9th. Can you use Chapman? I would say no.
No.
How could you possibly use him in a situation like that now?
They weren't going to use him in the All-Star game. You had a chance. You had a chance to have him feel good about himself going into the All-Star break.
And what's changed? You up
nothing.
5 days ago, you up by 5 runs in the 9th inning, and you chose to not use him. What has changed in those 5 days that you would now in a big spot say, all right, run him out there. Let's get Chapman on the mound?
Oh, it's just going to be availability. You got Britton back, so that's another guy that would probably jump in front of Chapman. So right now, no Loaizaga, you got Green and Britton. So it's going to be low leverage. And that's the last thing the Yankees fan wants right now is to have low leverage situations, unless it's because you're blowing the Red Sox out.
But they were blowing out the Astros and they didn't use him.
Well, yeah, but again, I know this is, and I was listening to the K show yesterday. Like, you had a 7-2 lead. He's one of your most important players. At a certain point, you're going to need him. Let's try to get him fixed. So we're just going to wait for garbage time? What is that? I don't know. That doesn't really solve your problem. Like, maybe he gets his control back, but that doesn't solve the problem of being in a pressurized situation. Like, what Chapman will look like in a game that's a blowout, or the Yankees are up, like they were in Seattle 12. Like, what does that do for him? Yeah, he can work on his control, but it's not the same as all of a sudden going into a save situation again or a close game again. I feel like they missed an opportunity there in that last game.
Yep, I agree with you. And they wound up losing it on top of all of that. All right, 98.7 ESPN leaderboard update brought to you by PGA Tour Superstores. All right, I've been working on my pronunciations, and let's give it a go. Louis Oosthuizen is 6 under. He leads. He tees off at 9:59 this morning. Friend of the show, Colin Morikawa, is 5 under, along with Jordan Spieth and Brian Harmon, all 5 under. Morikawa is already underway today. He is 2 under today. Spieth, 9:26. Harmon, 9:37. Daniel Van Tonder is 4 under, with Tony Finau, Webb Simpson, Mackenzie Hughes, Dylan Fratelli, and Stuart Sink.
That was that, and that's well done.
I think they were all exceptionally pronounced.
No, not even that, though. It's just it's the little details.
Like when they go, if they're underway, what they've done.
Yeah,
on the
like
day.
Morikawa was already on the course, making a little bit of a run here. This is what I'm talking about. This is like your weather.
Yeah, it is like the weather. Maybe I'll give you the weather later. Maybe, in fact, I will.
We do it every day.
The weather outside is weather.
Maybe we will. And that's the leaderboard update brought to you by PGA Tour Superstore. Shop with the pros at your New York or New Jersey area PGA Tour Superstores, the home for golf pros and beginners. All right, Tim Kirkjian, very concerned about the situation the Yankees are in right now. We will continue that conversation. And later in this 5 o'clock hour, we kind of rushed through it yesterday, the tight end list, but there was something on that tight end list that really, really upsets me. We'll get to that as well a little bit later. It's DCR with you on the Friday, 98.7 ESPN.
Thanks for listening to the DiPietro, Canty, and Rothenberg podcast.
You're absolutely right.
Catch the show on demand wherever and whenever you want. Just subscribe to us, rate us, and review us wherever you get your podcasts.
You want a little weather? You tell me.
You know what's amazing? Before you give me the weather, because I know what you're going to say with the tight ends. I'm sitting here looking at that draft. It's amazing when you go back in these drafts and look at some of the players that you could have taken and you didn't.
Lorenzo Carter, linebacker, Clemson.
Like, you drive yourself crazy.
I actually love doing that. I love looking back at old drafts and seeing, like, wait a minute, they passed up on this guy to take this guy? Mitch Trubisky went before Patrick Mahomes? Like, I love doing
Well, here's the beauty of what you're doing now, though, is you're acquiring players from that draft that you didn't take. You got a Dory Jackson now.
Right.
You got Jabril Peppers now.
Yes.
All in that draft.
Yes.
How about the names that went after Evan Ingram?
Why?
Tre'Davious White to Buffalo,
Why?
27.
Who did you take that draft?
No, we took Jamal Adams.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we decided we didn't need Pat Mahomes. We're good.
But then
We'll
you
pass.
decided that you weren't going to re-sign the guy
Isn't
after he
that-
turned into all-pro
That's the Deshaun
season.
Watson draft, too, yeah.
Isn't that the Ryan Ramczyk draft?
Yes, it is, Dave.
Yeah, he went much later in that.
You think that
New Orleans
Dave,
cleaned up in that draft?
You think that T.J. Watt would have helped your outside pass rush? Maybe?
I do.
Just a little bit.
Yeah, he went
do.
30th to Pittsburgh that year.
Generational running back, I think Dalvin Cook was taken in that draft.
This is a hell of a draft, man. Christian McCaffrey's in this draft. Marshawn
Wasn't that when
Lattimore's in this
the
draft.
Saints
Mahomes.
got Kamara in like the third round in that draft?
The Saints crushed that draft. They
Was that
got
the
Marshawn
Lattimore draft
Lattimore
also?
Earlier in the first
Yeah, Lattimore
round.
won the first round.
Yeah, Ramczyk.
George Kittle went in the 5th round.
They
George
got
Kittle
Marcus
got drafted
Williams in the
behind.
second round.
George Kittle got drafted a pick behind Jake Butt at tight end.
That was a mistake, huh?
It's a good draft. Yeah, that was the Saints draft that they destroyed.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's amazing. I mean, some
To
of
look
these
back,
names.
right?
Joe Mixon went in the second round. You had Juju Smith-Schuster at the end
Kareem
of the
Hunt
second
was a
round.
third rounder.
Wow.
Dalvin Cook with the 41st pick. Curtis Samuel with the 40th pick. No, the Jets couldn't have used him. We'll take another safety. Might as well. Let's just double down. We won't have either of them after this year either. Buda Baker.
They're going to let him go.
Buda Baker went with the 36th pick.
Oh, what a steal that is, huh?
Dude, what a draft this is.
The 2017 draft.
It's a good draft.
You done? Or no? You want to continue along?
I'm sitting here staring at the Pat Mahomes pick at 10.
That you'll never get over that, will
Never
you?
get over it. Never. No, how could you? Well, I mean, it could be worse. You could have been the Bears. They traded up from 3.
That's right.
that makes
That's
you
got to
feel
be
better.
the all-time. That'll be the draft pick 20 years now down the road where it's like, remember when they took Trubisky over Mahomes? That'll never go away.
Well, but it's not even just because it was. It's not even
Why?
like it was
Because
just
they moved
one.
up to get him.
Well, yeah, but it's not even that you just missed one. Like, I mean, that was Deshaun. Like, Deshaun Watson. Like, I can understand Pat Mahomes. I mean, it's air raid. It's Texas Tech. Like, I get that. And, give Andy Reid credit. Even I'll tell you what and I know he wasn't a good head coach for the Giants, but I mean, there were reports that Ben McAdoo wanted Pat Mahomes. Mm-hmm. But I mean, Deshaun Watson at Clemson was awesome.
It was so obvious.
So I mean, there was no questions about Deshaun Watson. But now, obviously, questions. But I mean, back then, I mean, in the biggest games, I mean, he was the best player on the
And
field.
where did he go?
Deshaun Watson went 12 to Houston.
Oh,
Remember Houston traded up?
12.
Yeah.
12.
I mean, the guy was a national champion, was the best on the brightest stage, was an elite college quarterback at an elite program, and he went 12?
He went 12. Dude, just listen to this draft for a quick second. Myles Garrett went 1. We'll skip past the whole Mitch Trubisky thing. Fournette 4. Corey Davis 5.
Well, that was a mistake.
Yeah, he just won a Super Bowl, but still, I mean,
Okay,
Leonard
but
Fournette's been a
Fournette
good
4
player.
is not,
No.
goes back with the running back
The
conversation
running back, yeah,
that we have
no,
all the time.
I'm just saying as far as productive players in the NFL, Leonard Fournette has been a good
He's a
player in the
productive
NFL.
player, yes.
Okay, Corey Davis went 5. Jamal Adams, he's been All-Pro, is 6. Mike Williams 7. McCaffrey 8. Pat Mahomes 10. Marshawn Lattimore 11. Deshaun Watson 12. Hassan Reddick 13. Derek Barnett 14. Malik Hooker 15. Marlon Humphrey 16. Jonathan Allen 17. Adoree Jackson 18. O.J. Howard 19. I mean, dude.
Yeah, if you were drafting in the teens, you really didn't miss.
No, I mean, then even at the bottom of the round, too, Tre'Davious White 27.
Wow.
You had Njoku 29. T.J. Watt 30. And you had.
And yet somehow the Dallas Cowboys end up getting Taco Charlton out of it.
Yeah, they got the taco. It's because the draft was on Tuesday, Chris. It was a Tuesday draft. And then you got Ramchick going with the last pick in the round.
And he's an all-pro.
And then Cam Robinson with the 34th pick.
What year was Aaron Jones taken? Was he that draft?
Let me look at it, Dave.
Alvin Kamara with the 60. Cooper Kupp.
Aaron Jones was that draft, Dave.
And Santi just told me he was pick 182.
182, yep.
Mm-hmm. And therein lies. Look, so just think about what you've just said. Kamara, 3rd round. Aaron Jones, 5th round. And the Giants and the Jaguars take a running back 2 and 4.
Yeah, but you expect that from the Jaguars, though. I mean, that's the thing, though. It's the Jaguars, right? I mean, it's not the most well-run franchise.
No.
So yeah, it had to be. Listen, it had to be an emotional decision with Eli and everything else to make that decision.
I don't like to discuss it. It's like a dark place for me.
Have you seen the size of Saquon Barkley's quads? That should make you feel good.
Go out there and give me 1,400 yards, please.
Exactly.
I mean, I don't need to hear about Bitcoin. I don't need to hear about all the things off the field, the recovery. Just go out there and produce already. He has not done anything since his rookie year.
And even in his rookie season, Dave, it didn't translate to winning.
No.
I mean, what you're looking for is the production, but also the impact on the team winning. Now, hopefully having him back makes life easier for Daniel Jones, and you get to answer the question on whether or not you got a quarterback. But, I mean, this is a huge year for the Giants, and it's also a huge year for Saquon Barkley. Like, I mean, he wants that financial security. I mean, you need to finally be on a team that actually has a winning record, justifying the decision that they made in 2018 to use the 2nd overall pick on you. So, I mean, as much as we love Saquon, as much as we love his sports character and his leadership, like that has to translate to having some on-field success. He's a little light in that department.
I think he's very light in that department. If I would have told you guys 3 years ago that Saquon would have produced the way he's produced in 3 seasons, injuries aside, I mean, he's the 2nd pick in the draft. You expect him to be great. He has not been a great running back. He's not.
He's shown signs of being great. He has the
can
potential
be
to be
great. I'm not denying that. He absolutely can be great.
But here's the thing, though. But here's the other thing with him, though, Dave, is he also has been hurt by less than stellar quarterback play in a bad offensive line. Like, yeah, when you drafted him, he's not the type of running back that he's going to lower his shoulders, and like he's not Ezekiel Elliott. Like, he's a guy that's capable. I mean, this is, first couple of years, just, can you hit the hole? Like, stop with the dancing. But that's who he is. I mean, he's a guy that's going to hit home runs. And when you have a bad offensive line, that's not the easiest thing to do. How many times was he hit in the backfield? I'm not making excuses for the guy, but.
No, I understand that. But if I would have told you after the 2018 draft, taking him second overall, that these would be the 3 years that he's had, you'd be underwhelmed. And I'm not saying it's entirely his fault. I know injury has been an issue as well. But the numbers are not staggering by any stretch.
No, they're not. But then, go back to like an Alvin Kamara, for example. Yeah, you got him later on in the draft, but he got drafted to the New Orleans Saints with Drew Brees. You know what I mean? He got put in a better situation.
Yeah, but the Giants knew that when they were making that pick. You knew your offensive line was shaky. You knew Eli Manning was at the end of it.
I don't know if they did. I don't think the owner did.
The owner didn't, but everybody else did. We were having a conversation.
You're right. That's why I looked at it and said he still has a lot left.
I don't think the people in the front office did. I think that's the only reason why Dave Gettleman got the job. I don't think that Louis Riddick went in there and said, you know what? I think Eli's got a lot left in the tank. I think that's why Dave Gettleman got the job, because he was going to be willing to do what the owner wanted.
I hear you, but the Giants were drafting quarterbacks left and right. They drafted Davis Webb. They drafted Kyle Lauletta. Now, I know that weren't high picks, but it's not like they didn't think that they were going to eventually need a quarterback like in the next couple of seasons. And in a quarterback-rich draft, a year where you have 5 go in the first round, it's just, how do you justify taking a running back second overall? You can't.
No, you can't.
We knew it was a bad decision as a show in real time, but looking at it 4 years later,
it's a horrendous
It looks
decision.
like a horrendous decision.
I think the Giants fans knew too. I think they did.
No,
they didn't want to believe it.
No,
I don't think they wanted to believe it.
No way.
No, I think it was. I think
not
just
be
like the
more
owner.
wrong.
No, I'm telling you. I think just like the owner, the emotional attachment that Giants fans have with Eli is they wanted to believe that he could still get it done. They wanted so desperately to believe that they could get it done.
That's a naive fan.
No, I'm not disagreeing with you. I think Chris just mentioned it. In real time, and we got killed for it. Anyone that mentioned that Saquon Barkley being drafted with the second overall pick was a bad pick got killed for it.
That's a bad fan. You have to separate your allegiance to the player and look at the overall big picture of the team. If you can't do that, I think you're not a true fan.
Well, how can you ask the fan to do that when the owner wouldn't do it?
It's a great point, Rick.
You know what I mean? The owner wouldn't do it. Like you,
Dave, you're a rare breed of
fan.
fan. Like most people don't look at their fandom like you do, Dave. Like you actually have some logic behind the team and what their strategy should be in terms of roster construction. Like you actually, you're logical when it comes to that stuff. Most fans can't be like that.
No, it's because the emotional part of Dave's brain has been replaced by colleges.
Nothing I can do. First down.
I don't understand why I need to be abused in this conversation.
No, you're not being abused. It's what makes you special. It's what makes you special is that part of your brain isn't the highest functioning part of your brain, like the emotional.
So I did
stuff
a little
is not...
recognizance.
By the way, too, another one to add to the list of players the Giants now have from that draft. Kenny Golladay also drafted that year.
Oh wow, where did he go? Was he like third round?
Kenny Golladay, yes, was 96th overall to Detroit.
There really are some steals, aren't there?
Go Kareem Hunt. Add him to the mix too. Third round running back in that draft.
Well, Chris mentioned Kareem Hunt.
Oh, he did?
Oh,
yeah.
Yeah, Kareem Hunt was third round, too.
Kenny Golladay, Northern Illinois, I believe.
Correct.
Look at you, Dave. Look at you.
I can't believe Alvin Kamara went. As good as he is, went in the third
Tennessee.
round. It's amazing.
Alvin Kamara, Tennessee.
Tennessee, correct.
Yes.
By way of Alabama.
Yes.
How about Cooper Kupp?
How about him?
Where'd he go to school? Oh, did I get him? No. Did I get him?
Nice. Put him on the spot.
Did I get him?
He was in that draft, wasn't he?
Oh, yeah, third round. 69th overall to the Rams.
Yeah, this is not one that's going to jump out at you.
I think I got him, Chris.
No, I think he went somewhere in Washington, but I don't know exactly where.
Chris Godwin went the third round.
Did he go to Eastern Washington?
How does he do this?
Because he's Googling it.
Oh, my God, I'm not Googling anything.
That's amazing.
Rick, we could see him on the Zoom. He wasn't Googling anything.
But that, Chris, it doesn't make sense. That's what I'm talking about. There's a side of his brain that's been fully has the emotion gone. Colleges are just in his brain. It's amazing.
So he's been lobotomized
like normal, everyday
he replaced the
things
missing section of his brain with colleges.
Yes.
Chris Godwin, Penn State.
Yeah, I mean, it's amazing to me that you can continually do this. How about... No, I'm not going to ask you where he went because you won't know that, but that's not fair to you. How about D.D. Westbrook?
I don't know that I know this one.
Ooh, could I get him again?
Wait. Hang on. What do you mean again?
Well, the first one gave you pause a little bit. I take that as a win.
Wait, so if I pause, it's a win.
Yeah, if it takes you a second, I take that as a win. Because I hear you on Saturdays. It very rarely do you have to even pause. Like sometimes you'll do it for effect, but I can tell you know it.
Right. Westbrook. Was he Oklahoma?
Son of a... Yes.
All right.
This is unbelievable. I could do this all day. People don't want to hear this all day, but I could do it all day.
I think people enjoy it. Give me another.
Yeah, but it's got to be skill positions. How about Tariq Cohen?
He went... I'm thinking New Hampshire, but give me a second.
No.
Feisty little nugget, Tariq Cohen.
Yeah.
He's in that draft.
Yeah, fourth round.
Tariq Cohen. All right.
HBCU, Dave.
Yeah, NCA&T.
I give up.
Or North Carolina A&T, yeah.
Yeah, correct. Ding, ding. Give him the ding.
All right. That's a win.
That is a win.
You done?
Yeah, for now.
Okay. Maybe do a little rapid fire later.
Yeah, maybe I will.
That should be a segment, right? We should do
Well, it
that
usually
as a
is. I mean, on
segment
Dave's
during
Saturday
football
show, it
season.
is.
Yeah. It's a fun little segment.
Maybe we could do that Fridays, maybe. Maybe we sprinkle that into a Friday.
We
have
have
a frenzy
free,
on a Friday, though, right? We got
free range, yeah.
We have free range. What is it? Free range radio? Is that what it's
Free
called?
range radio.
Is that
Ask
the name?
anything you want. Oh, by the
Anything
way,
you want.
time out.
What?
Santiago, can you do me a favor? I don't know if it's possible. I mean, Dinahan's with you today, so, I mean, if anyone can hack into the system, it's Dino. Can we get somehow the open to caller roulette for KJZ?
Shouldn't be a problem.
Just get me the open. I just need it. Tell me when you get it. Dave needs to hear it.
Because it's thievery, isn't it?
It actually goes beyond that.
Might
No,
push
seriously.
you over the edge, Dave.
This may be it. If we take this, sprinkle it in with the tight end stuff, this could be the recipe.
Really?
Let's have an on-radio explosion. They stole the name, which is
bad
listen,
enough.
The segment, yeah, the name of
All
the
right,
segment.
here's what I'm told. Santiago says, take a break. When we return, he'll have the open to call a roulette.
Yes.
And we will have the explosion next. We'll also get into the tight end list and back to the Yankees. 800-919-3776. Free range radio at 645. A busy the Friday with us and you right here on 98.7 ESPN.
Thanks for listening to the DiPietro, Canty, and Rothenberg podcast.
I don't wake up at 4 a.m. to wear a swim shirt.
Looking for more access to the show? Follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at DCR on ESPN.
Rick, here you go. We have a co-leader now. Colin Morikawa has moved into the tied for the lead, 6 under with Louis Oosthuizen. Morikawa is rolling along today. He's 3 under through 8. Oosthuizen gets started at 9:59 this morning. Spieth, Harmon, Van Tonder. Actually, Van Tonder is now 4 under. So Spieth and Harmon are alone in second at 5 under. And then it's Van Tonder, Fratelli, Hughes, and Sink all at 4 under.
Morikawa just stuck one tight.
Did he?
Yeah, he's about to take the lead right now.
So he's going to go to 7 under?
Tap in birdie. Tap in.
Nice.
My favorite.
He was a very nice guy.
Oh,
so
he's
I
the
root
best.
for him.
Yeah, he was great, man.
Very nice guy. And that's your leaderboard update presented by Finland's legendary taste, the Long Drink. It's a refreshing canned citrus soda with a premium liquor kick. Look for and ask for it at your local liquor store or check out the longdrink.com. All right, now we have the open to KJZ's, or I guess it's our caller roulette. Would you like to hear it at this moment?
No, I definitely want. Do you want to hear it?
Is it honestly? Now, Chris, have you heard this?
Yes, Dave. Of course. I've been on the show when they've actually done it.
Yeah, he's taken a shaking too. I mean, Canty's been he's almost a
very
member of KJZ.
No, I'm definitely not taking or shaking. Definitely not doing either one of those.
When you hear this open, knowing that I guess in theory it's stolen from us, does it make you feel away?
Of course it makes me feel away, Dave. Of course. It's very uncomfortable. It's very awkward, but I try to be professional at all times. So we just power through it. But it doesn't mean that it's lost on me that they pirated a couple of our segments. Like we're like the production meeting for KJZ.
Yeah. I'm sure their producer's listening on the way in. He's like, all right, they had a good one today. We can siphon that right away from them. Let's go. I'll take that. All right, this is going to be awkward. It's going to be strange, and it might anger at least two of us, if not three of us, on the show. Here is the Caller Roulette Open that they have stolen on KJZ.
It's time for Caller Roulette.
You know the rules. Don't ask us how we are.
We're good.
I don't want to hear any of that.
Get in, say your name, and make your point, and ask the question.
888-729-3776. 888-SAY-ESPN. And don't mess it up.
Don't mess it up.
Especially you, Line 5.
That's incredible to me. Don't ask us how we're doing.
Exactly, Dave.
That's my baby.
Exactly.
Oh, my God. They take everything. They should call the show DCR. Don't ask us how we're doing. Get right to your point. Oh, God. How do they live with themselves, those guys?
It's like the movies where it's like based on a true story, but it's a recreation. So this radio show is a is a recreation of DCR.
That's right. When they come on the air on the lower third on TV, it should say based on another show. This show is based on another show.
I heard it yesterday. I was like, "Oh my God, that's
oh my God!" Wouldn't you actually have some respect for them if they gave a little conversation beforehand and said, "Listen, we were listening to DCR on 98.7 ESPN in New York, and we fell in love with this segment that they do. So because of that, we've decided to, I don't know, steal or borrow." I would gladly say, you know what, have a crack at it, make it a big national event, and go away with it. But to just take it on your own without asking us and just to steal every line from, it's remarkable, no?
Yeah, maybe even like a courtesy of, brought to you by, like something like that.
Right, the guys in New York created it, and we loved it so much that we wanted to be a part of it.
Anything. Because now we can't even do, we have to change the name to Free Range Radio now.
Well, which they'll have soon. Don't ask us how we're, that's my line.
Straight off of the Rothenberg playbook, straight out of it.
Oh, my God. They'll take anything.
Anything.
You know, they are the show that if they went to the hotel room, they leave with the towels.
Oh, yeah, towels, extra shampoo.
The hair dryer. Yeah. Where did that go? I don't know.
I don't know. It's gone. I didn't get it.
This is why they glue the lamps down to the tables at the hotels because of that show.
Yeah, you're just taking. You don't even know why you're taking it. They're just taking it. I could use this. Maybe I need that.
That's right. A dab of this, a pinch of that. God, it's criminal.
I had a teammate like that would take the towels.
Why would you
want hotel towels?
I don't know. I'm like, what are you doing? Why? You can never have too many towels.
so he'd have like the Hilton logo on his towels at home?
I guess, yeah.
JW Marriott towels.
Yeah, you go to imagine that you go to his house to stay over, and it's like, oh, look, I got a Marriott towel today.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, ask for a bar of soap. It's got the Marriott logo on it.
Right. Why do you have the Marriott shampoo? I really love it.
You notice all the little shampoos, little sampler you guys have?
Well,
enjoy.
Why is there a desk attached to the lamp? I found it at a sale.
Yeah.
Did you hear, by the way, that Peter goes antiquing on the K Show?
Yeah.
Antiquing?
I did not peg Rosenberg as an antiquer, Dave.
Yes.
Didn't see that coming.
This is the beauty of the station, though. You learn all sorts of interesting things about the hosts. Like, do you think that Carlin would love candles? No.
Mm-mm.
No.
Carlin loves candles. He's a avid sailor, which I have a hard time. There's
no way.
Physics-wise, I have a hard time believing. Canty plays the clarinet. I mean, this is all great stuff.
I can sing a theme song like nobody else.
Best I've heard.
My wife was making fun of me yesterday.
Why?
Because she's like, keeping my head above water. I was like, come on, would you stop it?
Here's the thing, though. Did Peter mean he was going actual antiquing or like the Urban Dictionary version of antiquing?
Well, I don't know what the Urban Dictionary is.
You don't know what the Urban Dictionary is?
Well, I don't know what the Urban Dictionary of antiquing is.
You don't know what the definition
from
the Urban Dictionary is.
Engaging in sexual intercourse with an elderly person.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe both.
How to use it in a sentence? I met a geriatric, and the next thing I knew, I'm antiquing.
So antiquing as foreplay for antiquing.
Yes.
I think in order to antique, you must antique.
Got it. Okay,
right?
Now I understand, Dave.
Yes.
Thank you for that.
But either way, you don't look fondly upon it.
Oh, to each his own. I mean,
Right?
I'd
I
rather
was
do
about to say.
Yeah, I would rather do the version I just said as opposed to the actual going out, like looking for real antiques.
Oh, look at this desk. Oh, the craftsmanship is just wonderful. What year is this? This is from the 30s. Oh, we got to bring this home. Honey, your dentures would fit beautifully on this desk. No. No.
Let's take those teeth out for a second. See how that works.
Just for a little bit.
Just for a minute. Just for a minute.
Oh, my God. This show. All right.
Just see how this works out.
Can we get back on track quickly before it goes
No, we
completely-
can't, Dave. It's Friday. We're not going to get back on track.
Really?
Just let it go. It's all right. Don't even fight it. Just let the show flow
try to
where
get it
it's
back
going.
on the rails?
No. Why? Let's have fun. It's a summer Friday.
Come
It
on,
is
Dave.
Summer Friday.
Don't let them in. Don't let them see.
Make Rick cry. Can we
Be
put
the
some Kelly
good
Clarkson
host.
here?
We know you can be.
You think it was a one-off? Or do you think at any point if you hear that song, you could just well up and just...
I could well up in the instant it plays. Let's.
I think you screeching in the back. Now, at this point of the song, tears
This is
streaming.
it. Yeah.
Streaming.
Once we get to the sidewalk, that's when all of a sudden all hell breaks loose.
Really? The sidewalk
Oh, yeah.
is that's the point of no return for you
That's
in this
it.
song?
It's over at that point. I don't know how this doesn't tug at your heartstrings. I don't know how.
I'm not
Listen
saying
to
it
that
doesn't
voice.
tug, but I'm not going to weep.
Listen to that voice. Oh, it's so emotional.
Is she
Gets
an
me every
American
time.
Idol graduate also?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
She beat out Justin. No, she didn't. She did. I think Justin Guarini won, didn't she? Did Justin Guarini win that season, or did he finish second?
I thought she won.
She won, yeah. And then they had a little romance, those two.
Didn't they make a movie?
Oh, yeah. I may have seen it.
You did, didn't you?
Big Kelly Clarkson fan, Rick DiPietro.
Kelly
Rick
Clarkson
DiPietro.
is. Now she's got her own talk show now. I mean, she's doing
a big deal.
The Voice, and Justin Guarini's doing Dr. Pepper commercials.
Carrie Underwood also.
Yep.
From American Idol. Who's bigger,
Yeah.
Carrie Underwood or Kelly Clarkson?
Well, two different. I mean, Carrie Underwood.
Well,
is,
I'm asking you in your
well,
opinion.
country
which one
music.
is bigger?
Carrie Underwood is humongous in country music. But as far as mainstream, I mean, Kelly Clarkson has her own. I mean, her show's gonna replace Ellen, so that's huge, and she does The Voice. On top of being, one of the best singers, so I would say Kelly Clarkson. I think you have. I mean, I just told you. I mean, that's
she's got a lot
three
going on.
separate things.
Let Tony Romo be the tiebreaker.
Tony Romo's got a nice list too, by the way.
It's not Jeter.
No,
It's not bad, though.
It's not
No, it's
bad.
not bad.
It's not bad.
You take that list.
Well, what do we know from Romo? Underwood and Simpson. Do we know more?
I mean, how much more do you need?
It's pretty good. And
Have
that
you
was
heard-
like
I mean, you heard-
prime Jessica Simpson too.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Did you
that
hear?
was-
Did
yeah.
did you hear the John Mayer description of what it was like to be with Jessica Simpson?
Yeah.
Yeah, I heard that. I was like, okay,
John Mayer's list, by the way. That's a
a nice
list.
list.
No,
That's a
that's
nice
not a
list.
nice list. That's like a Hall of Fame. That's straight to Canton kind of list.
Yeah, that's gold jacket. Absolutely gold jacket.
I would love a full list. Jeter, Mayer, and I'd like to compare and contrast.
So I mean, Jeter's list. He's got Mariah Carey's on his list.
And that's prime Mariah Carey as well.
That's prime. Yeah, that's prime Mariah.
Before Nick Cannon.
Before
Mm-hmm.
Nick Cannon.
Oh, he's got Adriana Lima.
Whew.
He's got Minka Kelly. He's got Didn't he have J-Lo?
No, I don't think that
No, I
Derek
don't
Jeter had
think so,
J-Lo.
no.
A-Rod with J-Lo.
Yeah, I don't think, no.
I mean, his wife now is amazing.
We're selling his list short, though. The list goes on and on. With
No,
him.
the list is better than that. Oh, what's
Yeah.
her name? Was
Vanessa
Gino?
Manillo? Didn't he? Was
Yes.
he with her? Yep.
Yes.
We're
I
still
think the
not
great
doing
part
it
about
justice.
Jeter is that you don't know everybody on the list, though. And you just speculate.
But what you know is remarkable.
Exactly. That's the thing.
John Mayer has Jennifer Love Hewitt on his list.
Yeah, I'm not. That doesn't.
Yeah,
do much
I don't know if that moves the needle
In
for
her
me.
prime, she was phenomenal. And don't tell me otherwise.
Nah, I don't know.
Yeah,
all right,
I'm with
but I
Rick
don't.
on
I mean,
this
that's
one.
not.
Yeah.
So I got
Sickened by
Derek
both
Jeter's
of them.
top 10 girlfriends. I don't know how true. Oh, he had Jessica Alba too.
Yes.
Wow.
Yes, he did. And he had one for Fast and Furious.
Jordana Brewster.
Yes.
I see Tyra Banks.
Oh,
Scarlett Johansson.
wait, this is Jeter?
This is it. I googled Derek Jeter's celebrity girlfriends. I got Derek Jeter's top 10 girlfriends,
Wait, he has
Jeter
Scarlett
dated
Johansson
ScarJo?
and Tyra Banks and Jessica Alba?
and I'm seeing Jessica Biel too.
You guys don't
that-
remember?
that's over with.
You
There
guys
is
don't remember
no-
when Derek retired that we still had Sports Nation and they did like a starting 9. Like here's Derek Jeter's starting lineup, and they had an entire field of women there that Derek Jeter had.
But
been
this
with.
is not a I mean, all the athletes have a field of women. This is
This
like,
is an all-star game.
No, this is
Right.
an all-star.
This is an all-star game.
ridiculous.
This is not a field.
Right.
This is like this should be a wing in
Do
Cooperstown.
you want to go
It
down the
should
list?
be, Dave. It should be complete with the gift basket.
Yes. Yeah, I'd like to hear the list, please.
Rick, would you? Or I've got it.
No,
Yeah,
give
yes.
me.
All right,
Do
well,
I
I
want
don't
to?
understand. Why
Okay,
you ask
hold
me?
on.
I say
What
yes.
are you
and
waiting for me to
turn
do?
Rick and ask him.
Hannah Davis is his
Are you
wife,
waiting
so
for me
she's,
to
the, so she's the pitcher.
Undress myself? I mean, what are we talking about here?
You might have already. Who knows?
I could be naked. You never know.
Minka Kelly at catcher. Jordana Brewster, first base. Adriana Lima, second base. Scarlett Johansson, shortstop. Third base, Vanessa Manillo. Left field, Mariah Carey. Center field, Jessica Alba. Right field, Jessica Biel.
Jessica Biel?
Jessica Biel.
Yeah, Jessica Biel. Wow. I also got on his list. I'm looking at it right now. I got Gabrielle Union on his list.
Oh my goodness.
Outstanding.
Vita Guerrera on his list.
Vita Guerra. That one was outstanding
Guerra.
because you didn't even know that one until he retired, and she tweeted all these pictures that she had over the years.
Did you just say Vita Guerrero?
No, Guerrera.
Oh. Do you have the John Mayer list, Santi?
I do not have the John Mayer list.
I'll get the John Mayer list right now.
If you
I'm
could.
just going to say this offhand. I have a hard time believing John Mayer's list is going to top that one.
I don't think it's better, but it's going to be incredible, though.
And again, there's probably a ton that you don't know.
Oh, I'm sure there's probably 50 that we don't know. And didn't you say Scarlett Johansson is also on the Jeter list?
She was the
Yes.
shortstop.
Yes. Yes.
I mean, we're talking. Everyone has like the list of 5 that they say. If I presented to my wife or my significant other, that they would say, you know what, fine, go ahead. Like they did the Friends episode of that. Jeter has like 4 of them on his list of my 5.
Dave, his off-field accolades might be better than his
I
on-field
think they are.
accolades.
3,000 hits, naps compared to the list that we just went through.
So John Mayer, just to name a couple, he's
Yeah.
got Jessica Simpson,
No.
Cameron Diaz, Minka Kelly,
Oh, he also had Minka Kelly.
Jennifer Aniston,
Oh, my goodness.
Taylor Swift, Rashida Jones, Miley Cyrus, Kim Kardashian, Katy Perry.
Wow.
Yeah, I mean that's right. I mean those two right there.
That's
That's-
yeah, that is.
Wow.
That's impressive as well.
God bless them both. They should do a pay-per-view special.
A
And then he's got-
versus
John Mayer
challenge. They
also
should do a
has,
versus challenge, Dave. Versus.
John Mayer also has Rona Mitra on his list.
Love Rona Mitra.
Yeah, oh,
Big
yeah.
fan.
Big, humongous fan. And then Jennifer Love Hewitt, like you mentioned.
We
and
say
Vanessa
that it would
Carlton,
pale
too.
in comparison to the Jeter list. It doesn't pale.
No, it
it's
does
right
not
there.
pale.
Yeah.
It's right there.
I mean,
Right there.
I can only imagine. Can you imagine I've been backstage at some really good shows, like really good concerts, like friendly with the musicians, and like to see some of the behind the scenes activities. It's like I don't know how
So
I wouldn't last.
I know the answer to this that you're going to tell us, but professional athlete or professional musician?
I think musician. You got more time as a musician too.
That's true.
You know what I mean? Like it's
Oh, you
like,
could.
and they
I
go.
mean, you could. The Stones are still touring, right? The Who
Yeah,
is
but not
still
only
at it.
that, but I'm not even just saying that. Like longevity, obviously, with that. But as far as like the ability to fully take advantage, like a lot of times the lead singer can't have as much fun as the rest of the band just because they got to protect their voice. But like, I've been at shows where it's like security goes around and just handpicks people to bring backstage, and then it's just forget it.
It's a free-for-all.
Oh, it's craziness. Like, that's not happening in a professional locker room where you're
And
like,
that doesn't happen in sports talk radio either, by the way.
No,
it doesn't. No.
Nah, it doesn't.
No.
Not that kind of quality, at least. You ain't gonna get Jennifer Aniston showing up at the beach bash.
No. you would think that's very unlikely. Which is August 20th, by the way, my understanding.
Oh, really?
Yes.
So they're bringing back the beach bash.
They are bringing back the beach bash, yes.
Nice.
Yes.
Could you imagine if we did beach bash now doing 5 to 8, what time Canty would show up?
Well, he was late for the 10 o'clock event.
It wasn't my fault. I don't know how many times I can tell you guys. That wasn't on me.
Can I experiment a little bit?
Between Canty showing up late and then the ball machines they brought to play the have the competition that didn't even shoot footballs out of them.
No. That was really
those were the worst. Those weren't even jugs. I don't even know what those were.
They weren't jugs machines.
No, they were jigs. Yeah,
they were terrible.
Yeah, they were like the jugs machine ugly cousin. They were terrible.
It would just like spit the ball out. It'd be.
Remember that? It was like it dropped right in front.
That's it. Yeah, it was. I mean, and there were two of them. We're like, what are we going to do with two of these? They don't do anything.
No, it was awful. They're like, hey, Don and Chris, can you throw the football hard? We'll use you guys.
Can you just in the monsoon, in the pouring rain, can you just fire footballs?
That might have been the hardest it's ever rained, by the way.
You barely could see.
Oh, I was drenched.
I still can't believe you lost.
Yeah, it was awful.
I didn't realize how receptive Peter's
hands are.
No, he wasn't catching anything with his chest and midsection. Yeah, he was body. Like the ball was almost
exactly how you're not
into
supposed to catch it. By the way,
no.
No, they don't ask how. They just ask how many.
No, I know.
Caught.
Listen, I understand.
You try to be a hero. Oh, look at my hands. No, we wanted to win. They had to celebrate on us like that.
All right, enough. 800-919-3776. We never got into this issue with the tight ends from yesterday. We will get into that next right here on 98.7 ESPN.
Thanks for listening to the DiPietro, Canty, and Rothenberg podcast.
I have nothing left.
Hear more of DiPietro, Canty, and Rothenberg live weekday mornings from 5 to 8 a.m. on 98.7 ESPN in New York, the ESPN app, the TuneIn app, or on your smart speaker.
Hey, Alexa, play ESPN New York 98.7.